You're watching QTV this morning, and I am your host, Jennifer Sonko, joined by my amazing co-host here, Ibrahima Balde. Muy muñ ni dima wan dafa am simis bu es. Ah, yéen tamit. Pol bu am simis bu es ak mo mëna xajar.
Noonu la fa wara démé dé. You know, santa Yàlla bu suñ mami jalé hili Guinée ñu ñëw tok Gambie fi. Ñu juddu fi. Santa Yàlla.
Waaye man Uncle Sidi. Thank you so much for joining us. Kii dafa am simis bu es tay. Munta toog, munta taxaw.
Jennifer, thanks so much for having me and my brother Balde. When I'm a very good fan of your program. The one they follow. But I think when it comes to simis bu bees ak simis bu rafet. Nang ko jox Balde rek.
Ma jox ko Balde rek.
Balde moo mën a sanse.
Non waaye simis suma doole la. Ñoom sax dañ xam ñu dee dem shopping simis yi. Ñoom sax dañ xam ne Balde simis yu correct la soxla.
Ba du ruhi disque
ruhi jek. Ruhi jek.
Man daal bu simis yi accès rek mu ne dañ ma demoon shopping daal yi ma ne Paul moo bëgg a sanse. Ak lu es.
Te dinaa leen surprise te week bi yëpp dinaa leen surprise.
Simis bu es ba week bi jeex.
Waaw noonu la fa war a demee.
Mashallah, noonu la fa war a demee.
Why it's good to have Brother Sidi here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to have such a pragmatic person in the studio, you know, I mean, to discuss certain things.
Pragmatic nga ewote.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
Uncle Stevie, thank you so much for joining us. I'm always excited to have you here. As you guys know, he's the host of Kachadula on QTV as well as co-host on State of Affairs. To be honest, we always enjoy your engagements, quite inspiring. So it's good that you're joining us today.
Thank you so much, Jay, and thank you so much, Balde.
Yeah, so as usual, we have the African proverb and the newspaper review. Our guest is already here, Uncle Sidi Cisse, to help us analyze some of the stories that we have on the papers. We'll be joined by the president of the Gambia Transport Union to discuss, intentions to increase transport fares. Just last week we saw the instability in the country with the lack of, obviously not the lack of, but, a deliberate strike by certain fuel stations, unless for the GNPC, obviously, which is government. And we do not have Skengman Sweezy with us today, so I'm quite sad. But nevertheless, we'll get to catch up on that tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So what is our African proverb?
It reads, no shortcuts exist to the top of the palm tree. No shortcuts exist to the top of the palm tree. Yeah, I think this is a direct, proverb telling you there is no shortcut to success. But
one can say some people take the shortcut.
If you look at it, Brother Sidi, I think, there's something that is going to contradict the proverb. On top of the palm tree, if you were to take it as a direct translation and a direct meaning, there can always be, a shortcut to on top of the palm tree.
Thank you very much. I hope it's not going to be the issue with destiny here.
No,
once again.
So if we were here, destiny right now.
The Brother Sidi was connected.
Uncle Sidi, so your destiny before far?
For me, because of this morning and international news, I have a TV right in my office, so I follow everything. And I always make sure I tune into this morning and I follow you guys, and you're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up, guys.
Thank you.
I think with destiny we'll leave that to Balde.
What did it? You're for duñ ci dugga dama bëgg xam sa opinion
bi nekkul debate
man ma laajte rek
dañoo waxtaan rek xoolal dañoo waxtaan
yes
yow tam nga wax ñu yow tam sa idea loo xam ci destiny.
I think what Balde was saying was you can change your destiny. That's what you said.
Bakari kaas bu ma ko moom.
Prayers can change your destiny.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think for me, when you come to destiny, is what you intend doing with your life. You have to stay focused, get to the point, whatever you want to do. Of course, if you believe in God, you believe there is, a divine, force out there, would help you to learn yourself into that. But circumstances can change destiny. Circumstances.
That's what I believe. That's what I feel.
Well, platform, la dañoo agree to disagree.
But I don't think prayers and those, I think circumstances.
Waaw xam nga man li ma wax mooy am na yenn conversation Uncle Sidi soo fa dugalee religion est-ce que dinañ dem?
No.
wax bi dafa am because xamal tax lii loo xam ne la is there.
No, xam nga
conversation bi lii academic lifin.
That's one issue, Mr. Balde, that I always tell a lot of my people around me, that we should completely stay away, when it comes to what we do with our life and religion. Of course, religion is part of us, but people will run to religion for a slim excuse.
Yes.
Do you understand?
And when it doesn't favor them.
When it does favor them. So I think we should do away with that and then focus on what really matters to us.
You know,
but Uncle Sidi, in several circumstances, people use religion, they def your hamnesa. Come, it's not accepted. Sometimes nga diga goor bu wax ne hey yalla mako may pour ma taka fo jabar parce que fofu daf la favor in that instant waaye ndax dem nga seet yeneen sarta yi nga xam ne danga ko war a tidda pour nga mun a taka fo jabar yooyu
soo gisee nit di waxee noonu is ignorant
loolu kañ weesu ko
yàlla wax na ne nga taka fo jabar waaye daf la tegal ay sarta bu nekkee mun nga ko understand nga waaye the issue of destiny man xam naa ne religion si loo ko dugal rek topic bi dafa war a change because xam nga ku nekk dafa am no looy believe ak noo day xalaatee so man dama believe ne comme man lu ma waxoon tey xëccoowuma tey wuloowuma.
But do you agree that circumstances can change your destiny?
What? Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Why
you can have a brilliant law student
with prayers,
who everyone may think is going to be one of the best lawyers in town, and by dodging a boss, for example, you didn't pay your bus ticket, and then you get caught, or you didn't pay your train ticket, you get caught. And that gives a criminal record. You can never, walk in. I don't mean in the Gambia.
Yeah, but for example.
Yeah, for example. Okay, maybe in the Gambia, you don't have a CRB, System. Criminal Record Bureau. When you ask the police whether they have any record of criminals, I doubt if they have any. But we don't want to get into that, domain.
Yeah.
But the reality is, circumstances can change.
Exactly. Why ham nga man luma don wax moy man dama ko based on what I've learned, man suma religion daf ma ne destiny, prayers. So ñaané yalla ngay ñaan maybe sa amna lu waron lu la wara dal xam nga su la dalé dañu né li is destined to happen. Why with prayers that can change mané gané mën nga génn fi légui nga dem ci kaw.
So let me ask this quick question. Here is a family, a very happy family. Jabar, Jeker, Aksen, kids. Very happy. All of a sudden the family break out. Sebi tasna. Okay? Okay, and then unfortunately, the kids grew up in a broken home. And out of that, one or two of them, get involved in drugs, crime, and stuff like that. What is their destiny? Those kids, what's their destiny?
Ñooñu is circumstance.
Okay.
Wow. We're there. Uncle Sidi, you know why I like you, right?
No.
You know why I like you? Uncle Sidi, you're so good at this. You inspire me.
Danga wara accept. Man, I accept.
Man,
I accept. Look, I accept certain things. Yeah. But let's move.
Danga tontul Uncle Sidi.
No, bobu circumstance la. Okay. Now let's.
There is nothing like destiny.
Now let's look at the program.
So Uncle Sidi, no shortcut exists to the top of the palm.
That's the fact, and I think we should be drumming this in the brains of every single Gambian that there is no shortcut to life. Every day you go out there, you see people doing certain things, thinking that they get to the promised land. It's nothing like the promised land. We must work hard. But I think for the past 22 years, when we had Jammeh here, he had his butts, he has it good and stuff. But what was missing is role models in this country. I remember when I was a kid, growing up in Brookwood, my dad would point certain people to me. Oh, he went to high school, he's in Foraway College, he's in London studying, and you want to be like that. I want you to be like that. That was missing. And people think, Geneva, you can just run to Kanilai and Yaya will give you $10 million.
Right.
You can make all this success because, Balde is a businessman, you want to do some jiggles and he will come and support you. So there is no shortcut to life. The biggest stars in this world, if they tell you their story, they went through hell. Yeah. So definitely, even our prominent business people, take our brother Mohammed Jah, for example, he worked so hard, to get to where he is today. So we must bring down that people must work hard to success. You have to work hard.
Why that is the contrary. Even you gave the example of Jammeh's time, but even till today, putting that aside, people are taking all the available shortcuts to become who they want to become. But I am happy about the fact that it doesn't last.
No.
The shortcut never lasts.
Because we've lived that life of 22 years.
Yeah.
The reservoirs is still here. We are still going through it. It's like you are brewing your attire, you go through the first, you go through the second, the third. Eventually, before the attire flavor goes out, you go through many, many different brothers.
Yeah.
So that is actually what's happening here. So the likes of you and the likes of Balde and all the young ones here, actually, you are showing to the Gambian people that you can achieve something by being devoted to what you believe in and doing the right thing. And I think parents must also begin to understand that you just because someone went through the bad way to make that success doesn't mean the bad way is the biggest success in life. You know, make sure your kids go to school, make sure they do well in school, make sure you put them in something, you know, in them that actually will train them. We must think, you know, in that line.
Outside the box.
Yeah, actually, I don't have a problem because we're in a world where someone knows someone and recommends someone for something, where it's because of your quality and you get to deserve it. That is fine. But the fact of how things are changing, where even if you have to get a job and you don't have the qualifications, you're there, it doesn't last. You want to be a boss in an organization, you want to forcefully do it at the detriment of other people. All of those things are happening.
Yes.
But anyway, like you said, the fact that it doesn't last, that is the beautiful part of it. You're going to fail, you're going to fall, and then you're going to have to go back to, you know, really start from scratch and go through the right processes that every other person went through. But Ms. Uncle Sidi, my question is that greed or nyako gom sa bopa wala lolo lan la kom buga jël shortcut to success nyako gom sa bopa la wala bugi la wala lan la?
The issue right here is not just the individuals doing it. It's the environment we live in, from our family to society. You know, we see in the Gambia, say for example, Geneva works for a particular institution that deals with finances and all that. We know how much you get paid. Couple of years down the road, you know, you have your own brand new 4x4, couple of compounds out there, you know, taking a couple of wives, and everybody will celebrate her as him as a very successful person. But we know he doesn't work for that. But we'll celebrate it. You, who probably the same grade with him, you choose to live a very simple life, a very humble life, do the right thing. Ya bugulo dara. Ki mom dimbalul mbokam, dimbalul bopam. So society contributes to this terrible society that we find ourselves. It's our undoing, and we can undo it. By undoing, we must be conscious and sincere to ourselves.
Well, I mean, I think that's where the problem comes from, society. When you look at certain things, put certain people into certain situations. I mean, it's because what society say. I mean, how people portray them. I mean, people want to live large. People want to enjoy. People want to drive big cars, big money. I mean, why? Because they want society to respect them. That's why they are involved in certain things. They are involved in stealing. They are involved in corruption. They are involved in a whole lot of
they call that?
Activities.
Lack of self-esteem. People who lack self-esteem are those who want to be out there for people to believe they got it all. If you believe in yourself, I come back to what you said. If you believe in yourself, you don't give a damn. You don't care what Balde thinks about you, what Geneva thinks about you. When I go out there, I do what I want to do. Whether you like it or you don't like it. You know
what I said to myself, Mr. Cisse? I mean, I said to myself, look, I am not competing with anybody. I am the only person that I am competing with is myself. You understand? So I don't care. Even if a person drives a big car or you get like you get all the wealth in the world, I am competing myself. I'm not competing with anybody.
That's true. But also the challenge also is each and every one of us, as a citizen of this country, must be responsible in what we do. You know, don't just see something as do this my sohla. It is your sohla.
And Uncle Sidi,
let me complete here. Last Friday, because I brought the ferry service on my platform on Kachadula, I gave them a few weeks, it's a couple of months now, since we brought them here. I said to myself, I'll go back and see. I went on the ferry, on the second ferry, last Friday, to see the ferry and go to the toilets. Because I brought the toilet on this platform, how filthy they were. This was the second ferry. I went there. So I want to see overnight what happened in the toilets. Yes. So I went on the second ferry. I saw the ferry was very clean. And I was very impressed with the ferry service. Every staff on the ferry were in uniforms. In fact, now they have ranks.
That's good.
So, and I went down. I went to the toilet and to look at the toilets. That was in the morning. It was clean. Perfect. But I decided to stay away until the last ferry to join and see the toilets again and see the ferry. So I idled, you know, in North Bank, and I came back on the last ferry and I saw the toilet were clean again. And the ferry was clean again. So that's something that we must follow. When you talk about something here, whoever comes here and you talk to them, go back and see what they said, whether they do it.
It's really our responsibility.
And not only did I stop there, I went to talk to somebody, one of their senior staff, and said, this is a great improvement. And he said, okay, I know you are following us, please don't take pictures. I said, I'm not taking any pictures. What I asked you guys to do, you are doing it.
At least.
And he said, but you don't understand as well, you know, not all our customers use this toilet, people from the garages, people from the, you know, from bars, then you say, Maneko, you know what, you don't know your home, you don't do your work well. This ferry, this toilet are for passengers on the ferry. Have somebody who stands there, who walks there, and make sure those who use that toilet are only passengers with a ticket. It's simple. Anybody who goes on the ferry, you have a ticket. If you want to use the toilet, show the ticket and you use the toilet. You cannot allow somebody from the garage to come and use the toilet, or somebody from the village to come and use the toilet. And primarily, when you looked at the garage at the Barra there, it's filthy. I don't know the area council in that area, what they're doing, because you guys don't go out and look. Your journalism should not stay in the four corners of this room. You should go out there and see. You go to those garages, you see the money that drivers and, you know, traders are paying in the council. And you see how filthy those garages are. You don't even have a toilet. Don't even have a restroom.
Why you get trying as a team?
I'm challenging you guys.
Why don't you challenge? Why
we should stop that life of celebrity journalism.
No.
And go,
come on a serious note, comes up to our news team anyway, you know, because actually, we try to follow up on things.
Definitely.
Although capacity, yes, there's a lot happening.
But there's a saying when he said,
I
mean, society, I mean, the stories that people cover in this country, especially most journalists. I mean, although other media houses are really trying, I mean, a story being a hamne, most media houses jail nenko, nyunko publish in media houses. So, you body low line they connect. They don't go bring human interest stories. Man fog na human interest stories more gina am jering than all the stories that people talk about on Facebook or things that people already know. I think human interest stories.
Why Uncle Sidi, what on a moment na
wow.
The issue here right now is, Walde, if you look at the newspaper in front of you, it's all about what comes from X, Office Y, Office Z, Office Y, Office Z. And then anything in this country is a story.
Subasi buma ñëwé dama waxtaan ak head of news department moy Baboucar Cissé. I spoke to Baboucar mané ko Baboucar dama bëggoon ñu yónnee live view bi ci biir market bi ñu dem seet Baboucar mu ne ma ne c'est a good one mën nañoo dem fii ñu dem fële ñu dem check market yi yëpp ñu seet condition suñ yaay yi ak suñ sistay nuñ dëkkee ci market bi, you know, and we want to do that. We are going to do that, you know.
And that's good. And you know, maybe you can add it this into in your sleeve. When the president went out to see the OIC project, he came out here and said he wasn't happy. And he wants something to be done.
What has happened?
Nothing.
Well,
nothing has been done.
What is the status of that?
Nothing has been done. In fact, it's gone worse. Because the last few rains that have happened, in fact, even the little work they have done have all been washed away.
So they have to start all over again.
It's up to them.
Anyway, I think Uncle Sidi, all in all, my take home from your analysis of this proverb has to do with the issue of whatever the case, man fale because it doesn't concern me. You know, you had to go to the ferry to actually check, recheck, and check it all over again to make sure that really these people are doing what is expected of them. So that is why each and every one of us, when something happens, yo Ibrahima so we hene fale because do sa affaire te concern with sa family. Man tam ma wax the same thing, do them. Dama jóg taxaw fight loo xam ne suma yoon la wala du suma yoon pour dëkk bi mun a dem kanam foog ñu am radical people.
That is what is missing.
Kese.
Even so, say anti-littering. Gambia pass nañ bill boobu noonu nekk na loi fii in the Gambia.
Foog naa ne
but everybody
kaay leen ñu dem si newspaper review.
Everybody here have seen somebody somewhere throwing litter. Or everybody, you or I have littered somewhere, have thrown litter somewhere, and we just feel okay about it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You go around, people are dumping everything in this area. Nobody seems to care. Danga gis policeman si bopam sa mu ngi sani.
Wow.
Mu ngi sani.
Si yoon bi.
I was following a taxi just this morning and a policeman drank whatever he drank and then the paper and just throw it out. I just put my hand on.
Wow.
Te moom moo war a dispense law bi. Moom moo war a def
it's not only everybody. It's everybody's responsibility. Everybody's responsibility. So just to conclude, what is missing in this country is enforcement. We have all the beautiful laws. We have all the beautiful ideas, but to enforce it, Kembugo can sikala. And Lolu, if you want to continue like that, we are going backward.
Uncle Sidi, it's like you're reading my mind about everything that I want to say. The family, sexual and gender-based violence, when it happens, and people speak out about it, you know, yo yai ko sanki. yow da nga war a noppi du suñ affaire bugguma see feeñ kii warut see def lii. Just yesterday, I was having a conversation with people about how dynamics, you know, are changing. It's actually not changing. It's been there. You know, women in the media going through, you know, sexual and gender-based violence, women aspiring to be journalists, and women who are already in the media. You know, men giving them sexual advances. And when you talk about it, they are like, hey, xam nga dara, Ibrahima Balde xam na dara, waaye moom du wax parce que bugut see feeñ. So you are standing alone in a fight, lonely, for changing a narrative that people are not willing to join hands to change, and they know so much about it. And the next minute dinañ la ne hey yow soo waxee yow kii naa faa nekk kii su la defee lii kii su la defee lii fu ñoo dem fan la ñoo dem.
We must break away from the culture of silence.
Even this morning I mean maa ngi doon waxtaan ak kenn mu ne ma ne seen institution bi gaa dañ bugg a def a group of people ñoo ñu ne dañ bugg a def strike xam nga because ñoom I mean kontaanuñ with the way things are going so mu ne moom mu génn ci bokkut ci because moom feel na ne strike loolu nekkut it's not the solution waaye moom at the end of the time bi moom génn na si ñële ñu ngi ko blame ñu ne moom he is the black sheep of the class ma ne ko ne bu ci dugga I mean just forget about it it's not the solution suñ amee gars seen problem let them raise it to the administration of the school waaye comme Jenaba lu mu nekk di wax mooy I mean, who is going to take up the responsibility of, I mean, dine li ñun yépp a ko moom.
Ah, fokkee na jóg.
No, it's everybody's responsibility.
Wow. Who is going to, when are we going to start?
Look at funny, for me, say for example, you go to Similex, for example, to get an ID card or, you know, you go to get a document in any of these institutions. Then I just need mu ñëw. Yow yaa nga fa yaa ngi taw si line bi ñu ñëw mu call benn waaji, you know, who will come out of the office and just take him around. You know, when I was buying my ticket to board the ferry, the morning and the evening, I was in the queue, politely waiting for the one in front of me, and you see this lady just came and just, manako, yeah boy, balal ma, ram mo fi am. Wa balal ma dom, dama yakam, manako deet, ram mo fi am. Dama ñaan, ma may.
So she was trying to push you.
No, not push. Door suma bobo bi ak loxam bi.
Maanaam bama pour jël affaire.
No, pour joye xaalis bi. Mané ko ram mo fi am. And when I was coming by, these youths, you know, I was in front and they just come. Just one. I said, there are three hands. I just grab it like that. Wow. No. Suma jene du ma de xame. Ma grab ko ni ma ne la hey, xam ngeen la la man mun naa leen jur. Ana yéen gisuleen man si kanam.
Uncle Balal
ma ne déet dama bëgg from today soo leen demee béréb yéen a ngay jënd dara di def da ngeen fekk nit foofu noonu taxaw leen si gannaawam. Yes nga. So we must begin to educate our people.
Waaw waaye nag gis nga comme lii is a complicated issue.
Nothing is complicated.
Da ngaa seet non xoolal da ngaa seet ne comme su ma ne complicated mooy ñëpp a war a take up responsibility xam nga lu xew tey da ngaa gis léegi ñu dugga si biir benn van boo xam ne van bi 14 passengers la war a jël da ngaa gis apprenti bi dafa jël ay nit mu dugal si lu ëpp ay 16 passengers 17 passengers da ngaa gis passenger yi sax ñooy ne baalal ma rek ma mun a booraandu noonu ma mun a nekk noonu xam nga they are breaking the rules.
So loolu suwee we know Gambia Police Force they are famous standing on the road. Gambia Police Force, the famous thing that they are known of is standing on the road, called the checkpoints. Whatever they do, I don't know. You go to them, when you stop at a checkpoint, say, policeman, nanga def, police lady, nanga def, man dama phone motor bi dafa overload. Man degul len.
Wow.
Ay so defé lolu.
Look, foofu la problème bi nekk encore si the moment you do that.
Ay so defé lolu. Gaay tiyé ko. ñu taxaw ñu wàccee ñu wé seen time yéen ngeen toog si biir
ñu ñaanal la tem ñu ñaanal la sprinkle la dara ñu sprinkle la dara
soo nekkee si dégg
change la
foofu mooy affaire si
ma ne jërëjëf soo nekkee si dégg su demee si yàlla sax ba ñu ko
yàlla du ko seetaan yàlla du ko seetaan waaye on ko siide man si yow laay roy
ma ne
nii rek
we must like the vice president said you cannot make omelette without not breaking the egg. And that slogan should be with all of us. Let's break this egg.
So, Uncle Sidi, let's go for a break, and then when we come back, we'll go through the newspapers proper. Parce que dafa mel ni ñun am nañ suñ social issue ba pare sade. So we'll just call the next segment a community watch. We'll be right back.
Save up to 50% energy with the new side-by-side Samsung refrigerator. Samsung air conditioners come with HD filter and antibacterial for your protection. Save time, energy, and effort by using our washing machines, loaded with innovative features that offer superior cleaning technology. Step into the future of television with our slick and slim Samsung Smart TV designs. Sizes range from 32 to 85 inches. Smart LED, Crystal UHD Ultra High Definition, and QLED Quantum Dark LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV. Unparalleled vision, right from the comfort of your living room. Our products are backed with 1-year warranty. Visit us at Q South Building at Caraba Avenue or at Boost Turntable. Contact us on 333-3217 or email us at info@quantumnet.gm.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning.
Yes.
Here with my amazing co-host,
so we are back
Ibrahim Mabalde, and our newspaper review guest, Uncle Sidi Cissé. Thank you so much for joining us.
Dina jaxé.
Dafa jax ba pare.
Ndaxte gis Transport Union boss bi excellent ci bir studio bi. Tay dañ ko wara laaj lutax gaay di ñu def li. You know?
But anyway, let's head right on to the newspaper.
The Transport Union people. Honestly, is the government of this country and the councils that are making them relevant.
Ñoo leen make ñu relevant.
They are making them relevant.
Okay.
If you go out to other countries, transport unions are irrelevant. You know why? Each council have created public transport for the citizens. Government have created public transport for the citizens. It's safer, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Government have no responsibility to move people around in the city.
No, why we don't have that?
We
don't have that in our country.
Balde, it's not that we don't have it.
It's useless.
No, we have it. It's just people don't do their job right. If they do their job well, we will not be in this mess.
If they did not do it, other people will come and do it for us.
Balde, we were here when we have the man bosses, the GPTC. There are village of them. And they were doing perfectly well. We don't have the transport union at the time, holding us to ransom. If councils, if councils do their job,
ransom.
If councils do their job well,
yes.
Say imagine KMC have 30, 40, buses in city buses. Brikama area council have 30, 40 buses in the city. North Bank and all these councils. My God, you think I'm going to cry over? A taxi that is not picking me?
We are coming. Maybe one day we will strengthen the transport system in this country.
But anyway,
there is a guy called Matar Sanyang in Talinding. He is inviting us for attire. I mean, he is currently watching Matar Sanyang of Gambia Armed Forces.
I don't drink attire.
Thank you. Why, Uncle Sidi?
Oh, you
Thank God
attire?
you don't.
No, there are two things. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
I cannot stand sitting in front of a television screen to watch 90 minutes of football.
Yeah.
And sit drinking attire for 2 hours.
But I don't fancy Arsenal.
I don't fancy Manchester. Mamadou Gajaga, Manchester United.
I cannot. No. There are too many things to do in this world.
So how Manchester?
I used to work at the stadium.
While you love them?
No.
Uncle Sidi,
I was only there to collect my money.
Uncle Sidi, I think Manchester is like the sexiest team ever.
Sexiest?
I was working at Manchester Old Trafford.
Baby.
I was watching there. I walked there.
Yeah.
And you know what? I never ever admire what they were doing. I was only there to do my job.
And you're gone.
I'm gone. I have never yet consumed it because I cannot afford losing my 3 hours just to sit and watch.
But Manchester is baby anyway. So let's. What's the point saying?
Manchester is not baby.
It's baby.
All right, it reads, GCCI re-elects Idrissa Mas Job as president. And of course, Minister Silla, all right, this one is not clear. I think it's a printing error. Gambia's groundnut trade value depreciates due to the aflatoxin. Aflatoxin, okay. Dabo criticizes government press conference, demand NAM's investigation. Government oil marketing companies agree to maintain fuel prices. And of course, boy arrested for reportedly stabbing student through death in URR.
All right, so moving on, the NDMA reviews policy strategy and action plan. And also, the University of the Gambia will not relocate to Faraba campus this semester. and that 12 hours of heavy rains destroys houses across URR, and government agrees not to increase fuel prices. So that is what we have here for now. So Uncle Sidi, talking about education, relocation obviously is not, you know, what the problem is currently when it comes to the education sector. The problem is that debate of how relevant it is when it comes to what students are learning. We've seen the WAEC results, you know, this year, the amount of students who will not be able to make it to the University of the Gambia. What is going to be their faith? What should we change? You know, we are talking about having a general discussion, coming together and having that blunt national discussion. It has happened before. It did not change anything with the Education Our Future conference. What should be next now?
I think we have to take stock where we were and where we are today and where we are going. We all knew how our education was and where we are today, and as we move forward, quality must come back into education and responsibility must come back into education. People must take responsibility. If you look at how much hours students spend with teachers in school, probably very minimal. How many hours do kids spend with their parents at home? It's quite a lot of time. So that is important. We must begin to understand what are the factors. All these things, they are factors responsible. You know, we tend to live in a society where, you know, everything seems to be on fast track. Parents are on fast track, kids are on fast track. You know, we have a society that is very polluted, you know, and I think these are the factors. We must go back on the drawing board and figure out, you know, where we are going wrong. You know, like I said earlier, who are our role models as a country? These are some of the things that we need to look at. What is there for the students? What do parents tell their students? You know, is society, you know, also contributing to this? Do we have social service that actually have data of how many broken families?
Question.
These are all issues that need to be looked at.
Absolutely.
I can say a large number of kids are affected in school. It's because of parenting. It's because of the homes they live in. These are all factors. So we cannot just look at the education, okay, a child have not passed, a child have failed.
Like we
failed.
should look at
all underlying
yes,
factors.
exactly.
And I think that is what is missing in this country. We have a social service department. We have a department that is responsible, you know, to look after families and stuff.
Exactly.
But what are they doing?
How about the TVET approach, you know, I mean, that they're taking now with the TVET policy?
It is very good. It is very good. But what we need to do, we must have a database. And we must go out to people, you know, for them to understand. Parents need to understand. Say, for example, I mean, I'm into creating job, employment. I come across tons of people, you know, who drop out of grade 11, grade, you know, 10, 9, and you tend to ask these people, they cannot even give you any genuine reason.
Very close.
You know, they cannot give you any reasons. You know, and some will be frank to tell you, you know what, my father and my mother break up. I was, you know, living with my grandmother.
So you think broken homes
broken
really
homes
is at the top?
have contributed immensely. We had the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education here, and I said to this, the broken homes are actually ruining our society.
But Uncle Sidi, sometimes we also have to be realistic. Who, you know, the ministry really cannot really follow up, like.
You know, the ministry cannot actually follow up. But when you have a system in place, you capture all these things. If, for example, parents who, by virtue of whatever, their family broke down, you know, there should be, you know, institutions, institutions where they can go to and say, you know what, I have 6 kids with my husband, we are no longer together, I'm asked to leave, and my kids have been displaced, for example. What can be done? Monitoring has to be done. How many kids have been monitored? You're talking about a student who stabbed somebody, you know, a fellow student in school. You know, probably that child, this is not the first time he or she have done something like this, you know, been aggressive to other of his colleagues and stuff like that. So when you have monitoring system, this will happen. But you go around. A few months ago, when we had some programs here on Kachadula, when we feature the Bakote Center, you know, and also we come across some kids who are doing drugs, who are jumping fence. But do you hear anything? No. Institutions who are supposed to protect us are actually not protecting us. And this is the problem. We cannot just look at this in an isolated thing, say, okay, students are failing, you know, in exams, there are problems. And the problems started from our homes.
I think as I'm sitting here, I'm actually guilty, because this is actually a story I can follow up on, because we went to Dakar for a whole, 3 days to talk about building social protection systems in, the region, and I can remember interviewing officials of the Department of Social Welfare, and they're like, we are putting all the infrastructure in place to ensure that, we have the proper social protection systems, and then this has to be followed up on to ask, where are they?
If you go to the police station, you have these child welfare officers there, and look at the resources they have. Nothing. Even whereby you pick a child in the street, you bring to them, they cannot even make a phone call because they don't have credit. They don't have any private office.
Absolutely.
You go to a police station where, for example, if I'm a lady, I've been abused by my husband, beaten to death, and I go there, I have to sit in front.
You need like a safe space.
There is no safe space. You go in there, you go to the charge office where you have 3, 4 police officers, men standing there, and you have the female, child welfare officer there, and you have to narrate all your story and all this. And some of these officers will even be laughing. I went to a police station where a lady was complaining, and they were laughing. So this needs to stop. As a country, we must protect our people. How dare you believe that my husband beat me up, I'm coming to report my case, and other men are laughing. I'm not going to mention the police station, but they know themselves. It's unacceptable. So this is the problem.
Well, I have stopped complaining about, our country. Because...
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
We are bringing the
facts
out. I can
actually tell you.
They are the facts.
We are bringing the facts out.
Listen, Balde.
Do you know?
No, sorry. Yes. Listen, when I saw that, I addressed it.
We have to start addressing
You have to stop addressing. Tell them, hey, hang on a minute. She's a mother. She's a sister.
You're not supposed to do
She's somebody's parent.
But, you
She's somebody's daughter.
At the end of the time, did they adopt to change?
Why you lila war def nga ko?
Lolu moy problem.
Lila war moy nga taxawal len dëkk bi.
wax be sona. Man
let me tell you. I didn't only stop there, but that child welfare officer is my best friend now.
You followed up on it.
Every now and then I call her. I said, Naka things, how are things? How is your work environment?
How is it going?
How is it going? Pal dama numa de laal dawde, dama laal topa.
Boy laalal topa. Uncle Sidi, bu ñëpp doon laal di topa. You dubious acts yu am si dëkk bi dafa stop. Waaye bu kenn laalee topa ñu ne hey Uncle Sidi dafa bari affaire moom wax rek ndax dëkk bi dina dem Balde. Dina dem am du dem.
Xam nga Sidi, maybe moom su laalee mu topa.
Waaw.
Suñ ko laaxee tuuti ñu jox ko du jël. Waaye am na ñoo xam ne
moo tax ñu war a déggu
soo laalee nga toppa suñ la laaxee rek ñu jox la da ngaa jël nga
war a déggu si seen bopp.
waaw gis nga lu laajoo noonu.
waaw
let me tell you what Balde lépp loo xam ne alal la jot nga ko te ñaaxuloo. du la njëriñ.
dëgg la loolu mooy dëgg waaye ñeneen yi gomuñ loolu.
ma ne dinañ ko gom. You know what the thing is Balde, you have to believe what you believe in.
You are making excuses for people.
You know why? Because dëkk bi suñ dëkk la. ëllëg suma doom yaa fii dëkk. ñoom ñoo fi nekka suñ doom yaay fi ñoo fi nekka so su foundation bi baaxut xam nga ñun yëpp ay sofa suñ doom yi yëpp ay am problems okay so léegi what we do is I really want that I want change to see change but the change is difficult
you must be the change again Balde
it's difficult try nañ ba sona
Balde
Uncle Sidi kii dafa mel ni suñ ko laaxee dina jël de
man I don't even know what is laaxee
kii bu ko fee ñu laaxa ko
bañ a jël
what is laaxee
jëlal waay
buñ ko laaxee de
jëlal
buñ ko laaxee mu jël
xam nga dëgg bi you have
no waaye gis nga ñi nga toppa amuñ ci beneen ñi nga
yow war ngaa toog télé di wane
Balde gis nga ñu nga toppa Balde gis nga ñu nga toppa amul dara
no on a serious note I'm just making fun on a serious note I'm just making fun
gis nga ñu nga toppa amuñ dara
wax dëgg
ku amul lu doy lu ko doy moom amul dara lu laaj
Sidi ku la daaj 100,000 kooku amul kooku am na de
let me tell you
100,000 boobu du la njëriñ
there is nobody in this country here who because of a sensational story or a story on his back dina la jox 100,000 parce que moom si boobu amul 100,000 si bank account am let me tell you that they live hand to mouth gis nga xaalis bu dee daw nii di dugg seen poche they will spend it and you know how they spend it
capte la rek
capte la and capte bi lan la dañoo I'm gonna be very open here.
Wow.
They'll just spend it with some of these ladies.
Wow.
And it just like nothing.
No. Ko def.
Side chicks kay.
Am na fi.
No, I don't want to use them.
I
have to respect women. I have to respect them.
No, but I mean, non lañ ko de.
No, they will go out and just blow it on good time. Either dañoo ànda jigéen yi or dañu naan ko or ñu tuxee ko or ñu drogué ko. Du leen jëriñ dara.
Brother,
Why Uncle Sid, then stop to make excuses for people. The moment you make excuses for these people, then call normalize.
No,
normalize.
No, we should begin to name and say people who are found wanting. We should. Wow. No, we have to set the standard, and the standard is Gambia is better as a country to live in than anywhere else, and that can only happen when we all take our responsibility.
Exactly.
We must take our responsibility from the president down. We must take our responsibility.
We have to start. Fighting the level of corruption that we have in this country before it gets to other countries. Tay ma ngi read benn article. I'm not dem Ghana. Mo agasi airport bi, and it's an African like any other person. Mo dem Ghana, you charge ko $150.
I saw something like that.
You saw it. Pour mu muna duga si bir dika bi. You think that is right? Even US.
Is he having a visa?
You joko visa. Mune $150.
Is the visa fee $150?
Wow, but the visa fee. I just saw the headline, but not getting to the
Americans,
story.
you they pay a lesser fee than more.
No. I think some of these things. Let's say they were because if, for example, you are flying to the Gambia, so there is embassy, or you go online, for example. I don't know whether we have online visa. You can apply your visa and it's cheaper. Okay? Or you go to the embassy, you can get your visa, it's cheaper. If you fly to the Gambia, there is a certain fee that you pay. For example, I'm just using Gambia as an example. When you come to the airport without a visa, you have to pay that visa, and that visa comes with a premium fee. So, this person who flew to Ghana, who took visa, and pay a premium fee, he has nothing to complain. Did he have a receipt for the $150 that he paid for?
So when we see these things, we need to dig into it, just ensure that there's no misconception.
If that person is flying to the UK without a visa, he will never board a flight. Why our airlines or airlines flying to Africa putting people on those flights without a visa, without the right travel document? Generally, you cannot jump into a flight in Yundum International Airport to fly into Gatwick, London Gatwick, without a visa. The airlines will not allow you. Why do they have respect for European countries and not have a respect for us?
Exactly.
Because European countries will find them. Gambia and other African countries, we must begin to find this airline for flying people into our country without the right traveling document. Without the right traveling document, definitely.
Uncle Sidi, let's talk about the fuel. Government agrees not to increase the fuel prices. We see how, these fuel stations decide to go on strike unless for JNPC, selling fuel. I saw some suggestions online, which I do not think is the way forward. People suggesting, now boycott, some unrealistic comments of boycott the other fuel stations and just stick to JNPC. We know they can't, sustain this. And sometimes we just shouldn't come up with unrealistic thoughts, but just, looking for the sustainable solutions at some point.
When it comes to the fuel issue, two lessons have to be looked at here. One is the government and the oil companies are actually very secretive in what they do. Yes, you agreed not to increase the price, but what was the discussion on?
That's the thing. The press release didn't entail.
We didn't know. Why this had to happen, we didn't know. So unless we know those things, that lesson, we need to go back on. On the other issue, I think it is time that government start thinking. Things like fuel. We have a petroleum company here that belongs to us, GMPC. Let's make sure the government acquire more GMPCs, control our energy supply.
You mean we add more GMPCs to the ones we have in
Of course, before I give a license to Balde and Geneva, I will give you the GMPC.
What about the red stations that we have? We have a lot of them here.
No. What I'm saying, what happened had happened. They have given license to all these people to run gas station. Fine. But we have seen their true color as a government. The next step, if they are listening to me, is to create more conducive, bigger, respectable institution like GMPC to give them all the support, because citizens have a right in their country.
Absolutely.
And they should not suffer because Geneva wants to make some profit or Balde wants to make some profit.
But these are Gambians as well. That is why Uncle Sidi, where you started from is the best place to start from. That is, they should be more open
Yes.
about negotiations, just so we know who gets what are government subsidies, what is happening. Then from there, we'll be able to judge the situation.
Yes.
But right now, we're just doing it blindly.
Yeah, we're doing it blindly, but for me, my conviction is I want to see more GMPCs. Most of these people in this oil business, they are my friends. But what? I'll tell you how it is. I want to see more GMPC. Because when I go out, the GMC gas stations, they are very beautiful. I'm not doing a promo for them, but they are very beautiful, very conducive. You can drive in and out. They are not like a corner gas station.
Yeah, that's the reality.
So definitely,
I mean,
they have a good standard. So we need more GNPCs.
More GNPCs. I mean, and also the strategic location of petrol stations should be looked into, Mr. Cisse. I mean, we have seen petrol stations in the midst of people. I mean, where you have settlements. I mean, which is very serious.
We have talked about it here. And in fact, even on Friday, I was talking to some senior member of NEA. Why are they certifying some of these, gas stations in our community? I mean, they don't tend to actually. If you ask why, you say it's Z. If you ask Z, you say so. Institutions are not collaborating. Sometimes this guy told me. Sometimes we'll say no, and the next minute we'll see it happen. So this is the problem. So people in office, the ministers, the directorates, and all that, need to be very firm and not only think about themselves. Think about us as Gambians. There are lessons that we should have looked at. When we had fire in Brikama, in a gas station, in the community, that was bad many years ago. And similar things can happen. So we need to, if you go out, people are taking gas stations outside the residential areas. We are putting it there.
There is a petrol station in Brikama, just after the Gambia College, on your right-hand side. I think it's Petrogas or I don't know.
No, we wouldn't want to mention names.
Yeah,
really.
sort of, exactly. Well, it's a matter of our country. I mean, this is a country matter. You understand? So I think that petrol station needs to be moved. Because, I mean, where it is located, you have compounds just behind that place, and it is very serious.
You remember not long ago a fire happened in a petrol station in Brikama, right opposite the market. If that wasn't, remember that. Yeah, if that wasn't contained, would have been terrible. But the issue right here is, we just have to say how it is. These institutions, the National Disaster Management Agency, NEA, PURA, all these institutions need to put their act together. When you're talking about disaster, it's not about when disaster happens, you go and do mitigation. You should prevent disaster. And this is what is missing from my brother, Dahab and his team. These things are here, they are sitting in front of us, they either stop it now or it's going to go worse. And in fact, if you look at this flood they're talking about this year, they did not go and clear the gutters. The Talending area, the Churchestown area, none of those gutters are cleared. The Tivagaras area, none of those gutters are cleared. So when rain comes, water doesn't have anywhere to go. It went in their homes.
They are waiting for rainy season. When the rainy season starts, then they will go and clear.
So in Kenya, the Supreme Court upholds William Ruto's election victory. So the evidence that is put forward by the incumbent really is not working. Did not work because the High Court has already decided on this particular victory. So
the decision made by the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission is it. What lesson do we learn from this? Where you have 4 members of the Independent Electoral Commission of Kenya pull out, including the vice chair said, I don't agree. They should be ashamed of themselves because they were impartial in their work. And this is a lesson for Africans. Wherever you had a European election, would go and they say, oh, the election is not fair. It's not free and fair. We are, crying over it and all that. It doesn't happen. So people
unless for Donald Trump.
I mean, we know, but Trump was just making a noise.
I know.
He kept making a noise. But the institutions were doing their job. The transition was going on, and then eventually it happened. So you see, when we have bodies that are responsible of elections, they must detach themselves from ethnicity and from politics. The Kenyan thing is ethnicity. That's what's the problem. So we must do away from this. You are there to serve the interests of everybody. Everybody, every citizen. If a life is lost, if a property is damaged, it's your responsibility.
And the beautiful part,
so those 4 commissioners who did this, and lives were lost in Kenya. Some people were killed in Kenya. In fact, members of the Electoral Commission were killed in Kenya. They must answer to those calls.
Yeah, the fact that the courts really also are quite independent,
yes,
you know, and we can depend on them. I think, you know, this has been the dynamics recently in Africa, where the really high courts are really independent and are just doing what's right, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's the way forward.
Because nobody wants to set their country into flames.
Yes, exactly.
And I think we've seen the history of Kenya where they were, you know, how many lives were lost. So definitely, I think this is the way forward.
All right,
And
thank you so much.
we congratulate them.
Yeah. So
for,
Uncle
for
Sidi,
that.
I think we have to let you go.
Thank you so
But
much.
Can you give Uncle Sidi a handshake for me?
Oh, yeah.
Please give him a
A
handshake.
handshake for what?
No.
Just a handshake.
Yeah, just a handshake.
Like, dafa buga sa style.
Suma jarbaat la.
Wow, no,
He's
sa
my
style.
uncle.
Wow, suma
Style
jarbaat
la
la.
buga.
But like I said to Balde as
No,
well.
why buga dafa bari?
But you see,
You like his style.
Man Uncle Sidi, dama roy si mom. Because Uncle Sidi,
okay, buguloo style am.
Uncle Sidi, suñ amee Gambia fii 100 rek. You mel ni yow. Ak man parce que man tam ku déggu si suma kaddu laa di roy.
Okay. Ma génnee si affaire si.
Man xaw ma si yow dara.
but I think Jennifer, on a final note, thank you guys.
Man xaw ma si yow Uncle Sidi.
Thank you very much.
Uncle Sidi bu ko ta déggali. Uncle Sidi bu ko ta déggali.
What is that? No, thank you guys. Thank you so much. But the issue
No, I think we need to do this again on
the
Wednesday.
Wow.
Uncle Sidi, dañ laa jox appointment on Wednesday.
Wow.
We'll be back here on
Uncle
Wednesday.
Sidi yaa fi mujjee démba si guddi yaa fi njëkkee tey.
Wednesday.
Kaccaadu laa démba la woon.
I have to check my
No, Wednesday we will do this
I
again.
have to check my program. You know, I'm a small businessman as well. I have to look
You're
after
a big
it.
businessman.
No, I'm a small. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you so much. So
let's keep the ball pushing and
Yeah.
let's get there.
And let's always
Gambia
say
is
the
young.
messages.
Our democracy is wrong, and people must not take advantage of our democracy. But the government must also lead in the narrative. They cannot be chasing the narrative. And the Barrow government must work on their PR very well. We need a better PR. We need a better dealing. We must not chase the narrative as a government.
And
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Mu ne yéenay soo gisee dara da nga war a romba rek te bul wax. So starting
No, no,
from
no,
now
no,
on
no.
loo gis
I
da
didn't
nga
say
taxaw
that.
nga stop.
Waxuma loolu de.
Uncle Sidi.
Lu ma wax mooy.
Waa
ma ne.
waa
Sometimes dafa naxari because da ngaa taxaw nga def nga wax ba soona dara du change.
waaw waaye at least
Loolu
yow
laa
sa
wax.
consent dina la won ne wax nga.
So Balde, I have to go. You guys have to go. But the thing is,
Yeah.
when you talk to Geneva, what Geneva is doing, for example, Geneva might be very arrogant to you right now and say, well,
Exactly.
Loma Wahali,
Exactly.
Sunyibe,
Mu toog.
Muhalat.
Some people are thick in the brain.
Quickly,
Duñ dee xalaat.
a
They
couple
don't
of years
think.
ago,
Amuñ
couple
consent.
of years ago, I saw a traffic checkpoint on Jabang Highway. I was in fact coming late in the evening. I stopped and I spoke to this officer. I said, guys, you are committing suicide. What you are doing is wrong. You have no reflector. You have nothing to tell anybody you are here. You are in black. And one, for them, I just go hamni ku opal. Wow, you hamne sul lijay. I said, fine.
Nga bàyyi ko fa.
Fine. I just walked to my car and I just called my wife and said, listen, guys, this people are committing suicide. Can you believe, before I get to my car door, an off-duty police officer with his BM, munyo pen nyom yep, tampon. It was over here. I even went to the minister. Then Mbalo was interior minister.
Allahu Akbar.
Loolu yàlla la.
And I went to Mbalo, I told him, and I went to the IGP then. Yes, this is what happened. And they were in hospital for weeks.
Demuloo si hospital bi nga dem seeti.
No, that will be like I'm provoking them.
waaw te nit ku feebar moom doo ko def loolu wax dëgg yàlla.
But the thing is, nit ki soo ko waxal, da war a xam ne da nga ko buga. Wow. So thank you guys.
Thank you so
All
much.
the best.
Thank you.
But you know the transport union?
Yeah.
We are making them relevant. Thank you.
We're making a bad situation. So,
Man waxuma de.
so we'll just go for a short break. We will be right back.
We'll be back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living,
We need light to work,
to build.
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using eFunkanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS, eFunkanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So as Uncle Sidi leaves, Uncle Sidi Cisse, we are also welcoming another Cisse Kunda in the studio. Thank you so much, Omar Cisse, of the president of the Gambia Transport Union, for joining us. So yeah, Uncle Sidi just left now and talking about the fact that, according to him, it's, you know, the government that is making you as a transport union relevant. What do you have to say in relation to that?
Thank you, Jirama. And so, Uncle Sidi, you know, it's his opinion, but what most important, we are doing our job. If somebody is not good in, you know, doing right, we will play our part as activists or as a, you know, pressure groups. So, he's been saying government is supposed to increase more, you know, bosses and so on. We really like that, you know, status quo, because recently we see Q Group bring the over 33 bosses. Yeah. That means we have another 60 to 70 employment from the drivers. Yeah. That is the number of increasing. Wow. So our most fundamental right is to protect our drivers. And those people who are going to drive those vehicles, they are drivers from our member.
So man lima laajte mooy xam nga moom dafa ne government bi ñoo leen make ngeen relevant te su gisee loolu moom mu déggu si cadre boobu mooy transport suñ ko structure yi defal ko bem ba union dina am ba léegi.
Xam nga union mi people fail to understand what is the role of the union. ñun suñ role of the union mooy pour ñu dimbale suñ njaboot suñ members yi. Members ñoo ñan mooy driver yi. soo indee boos yi ñan ñoo ko dawal du journaliste de driver ñoo ko dawal. ñun driver yi I feel ne su compagnie amee like Q Group like GTSC they gonna have a very good working conditions. All their privilege dañ ko mën a am. kon ñun am nañ jàmm coono bu nekk dina ko wàññeeku sax. moo gën tey xuloo fii suba jàppi fala garage oo jàppi fala ñun kan na compagnie am suñu employé suñu driver nekk di very good working condition ñu am jàmm dëgg am jàmm.
so gis nañ ne last week fuel stations yi demoon nañ on strike kenn jaayut ba mu des GNPC which is government so sa driver yi bu loolu xewee lan lañ la wax lan mooy seen perception si loolu noonu ak naka la leen affecté.
affect nañu as a businessman because in that 2 days or 1.5 days. daanaka coono yi bari jànkoon nañ ko because understand suñu driver bari fa nekk fanaan nañ GNPC prestation am nañu dem ba jàlla booda di ut fa di gel so but man foog naa mën naa ñàkk in a sense government of the Gambia discussion mu ngi xewoon over 1 month ago government mu ngi discuss with OMCs for this particular issue so su dem na ba OMCs call a press conference on the 4th of August you know, what has some position on this? Then, you know, select a date on the 5th of September, so the government remediation situation does continue for the business. Government handle by a big impact and be pare, so go water lanyom. I feel what I'm not the government in the weak side. Do recently, government just not some press lady one d'accord nañ, but still d'accord. I heard somebody was saying here, still d'accord. No, what we information we receive from, ni say issue with the government more control the pump price, you understand? But OMCs also are claiming for some levies, like premium, you know, importers premium, LC cost, importer, margin per cycle. These are the premium guide of halis. So government be am bobla wanyiko. For example,
subsidy
more for nekon. So government lola wany. So guide lola more like the battle. The yakan na government so should do develop from my understanding the for a thorough discussion. But ne do am dara nga xey ben fan rek nga ne ko dem ko guiné. Xagna mën na indi because yakan na ko enjoy. Ngay am dalasi ñu lay talal la jox. Xagna mën na té xel. So fekkee ne government am na discussion mais d'accord government bu ñu nangu ñu dem protest for one day or 2 days government ñoo nangu leen may lañu fi ba end of month according to information we receive may leen ba fi ba end of month lañ ñu seen mbir bi nag la nga war a saafara no according to Minister of Finance maa ngi ko doon déggal lu wax mooy ne two things moo taxaw moo fi nekk right now the issue is first and foremost to increase the pump price. I told you in my platforms this is no go area as far as we are concerned. Increase the pump price or government to continue to take more subsidies. No government wax na ne ñu atam subsidy bu amee sax pour yokk si leen ko leen mu war a xew fii ba end of month. ñu wax nañu ak kon information bu receive mooy ne dana gaay leen may la ñu fii ba bàyyi leen ko noonu fii ba end of month dina saafara sa no problème bi les government bi dina nangu yokk pump price or government dafay nangu take more subsidies. This is the question na government di war a leeral askan bi.
Okay. So léegi lan mooy intention yi transport union bi si transport fare si I mean da ngeen a yokkam ndax da ngeen a
let me say this very clear man
yokka bi kañ nekkut ñoom seen loxo
let me say very clear jëna ma dafa am si li lu wax nit lu nekk si yàlla ngay wax ma mën maa blackmail nit ñun wéeda pompe price yokk na o yokk duñ pare na pour yokk si transport fare
da ngeen a yokka
yeah because na fa fu nga ko teg
waaw monsieur Cissé loolu
foo leen ko wéer
su yokku di yokka monsieur Cissé
man si ban bunta boo leen ko wéer wax leen ma
jërëjëf lii
non waaye bii moom Cissé
non may ma rek ma leeral la ko ñun as of now pompe price yokk na woo yokku na pare na pour yokk transport fare
parce que
thank you ñun dañu am agreement with the government and the consumers union and including all the relevant stakeholders on the 3rd of November 2021 buñ doon yokk suñu pass in 2021 dañu am agreement buñ sign ak government at the consumers union mooy ne soo fekkee ne pompe price change for 20% dinañ adopté transport fare loolu la ndogal nguur yi in those days the pump price was $52 23 butut per litre loolu lañ d'accord so pump price change 20% dinañ change the transport fare so for that being the case soo fekkee ne that's the issue government of the Gambia since that date up to now pump price have been changed for 41% the agreement was 20%. So if you are the head of the union, lan moo nekk sa stand.
waaw
we agree 20%. We agree 20%. Now we are 41%.
so mbaa try ngeen pour demaat si government bi ngeen ne leen lii lañ agree woon waaye doxul de maybe government bi fàtte nañ.
thank you bind nañ government bi remind leen government invite ñu meeting ñu ne dañ bëgg a si suñ proposal ñu jël suñ proposal de government and the relevant stakeholders including the commuters. Let me clarify, including community organization, including Consumer Protection Commission, including Minister of Finance, including Minister of Trade, Minister of Interior, Gambia Police Force. You talk, you present to precision, proposal. You discuss that proposal until we agree on something already. Since end of July, agree on something. Now, Lena Lanyohan, Minister's approval. But the stakeholders agree on pass with your company.
xam nga man lana ma xaw a naxari si seen transport union bi parce que citizen laa manit dama dugga moto yi di wàcc déedéet xëj na yow sax da nga am moto dooy dugga it xëj na ak yooyu yow yaa ngi am naka la tudda yow yaa ngi am la leenum tudda sa rayda bi
bike
nga amee so man li maa wax mooy concentration bi nga dee put Omar on government bi doo ko dee put si sa driver yi
like
sa driver yi am na si yu bari yu ñoo dox te warut du dëggatu yoon loolu danga si war a wax pour won leen ne ñoom it suñ defee lu rong ñoo la fa teg waaye dañ leen war a put to check ñoom it dog price dangaa gis ku dem halfway ne man fii laay am wala ku toog wax ne moom $20 si boo leen ko mënoon ngeen wàcca loolu yëpp mu ngi fee am waaye yow Omar hardly ma gis headline bu nekk si newspaper bu binda ne Omar mu ngi blast drivers waaw loolu lu tax loolu day leen naa blast ñoom it
jërëjëf yaakaar naa di wax sa plateforme ni ne kenn amul mandat di yokk sa bopp transport fare lu waa moo ko wax
waaw lu tax duma ko dee gis mu nekk headline fore ya ne yow yaa ko wax
su ma ko wax sa plateforme bi kay yaakaar naa doy na ku ma ko laaj ma tontu la si ku ma si laaj question
musuma koo gis headline
xaj nag journaliste ñoo ko bindut dama ne any individual or group of people even union amul mandat pour yokkal boppam paas nu soo ko defee da nga offend the Motor Traffic Act ana enforcement officers yi this is not my job man lu ma wax soo ma sa laajee tey ma amoon record tey kenn individual amul doole pour nga yokkal sa boppam paas until the stakeholders agree loolu la lifin bi wax and number two di doctor pass dama ko dee wax ne ji nga we need to have a system in place ji nga only local government people fii lu place am lu mu neexee ne su time jëlee dañoo jóg ñibbi lu dégg système bi mooy su fekkee système nekkul fa lu mu expect loolu mooy continuer government need to provide a system for the people if that's not the case any individual da ngay doo sa xalaat don't forget ñaata commencé drivers ñoo fi nekk people have different mindset. But what must we need a proper system in place. But what must learn more like government didn't have the consider in transport. Transport definitely got priority. They go sagane. Lol moy dega. Man, I'm not here to make decisions on behalf of drivers. Man, I'm just representing them to protect their welfare. But government, you have mandate to put transport in forward. No transport government of course sagane, fale oko, fula loko, lol moy dega. So bila case you know content is suffer. Li ngay chono lay chono, sama jabalo lay chono. Man am na sama jabalo moto, sama duma am moto. Li ngay daj, no am nga moto because dama lay gis.
Kan am na moto man nag.
am nga moto de.
man seen wax yi entertainu ma façon wax yi si plateforme bii nii fii this morning la.
soo dee school université dama lay gis.
am nga moto waxuloo ma ko nii. moto nii
non wax bi dafa ji dafa close chapter bii nii du ma si dugg Omar. programme bi su jeexee maa moom dañ koo wax on the side.
bii jeex na rek soo léegi amee Mr Ceesay dañ bëggoon rek yéen tam ngeen wax ñu. tey government bi su demoon ba mu ne ok léegi bëggoon nañ pour ñu discuss ñu jeexal affaire si comme bu leen yokk a paas dinañ come into an agreement so léegi loolu yéen am ngeen di intention pour stop. doo leen yokk a paas
ji nga Balde Banna lenn laa boole fi askan bi ji nga coono bu ndaj ñi man suñu ñëwee yokk a paas lu ma si dee jaj saaga sax lu ma si dee daj doon sëkk.
non loolu foog nga expect.
Understand? But what must dama am job dama responsibilities. No, I will make sure I follow my responsibilities. But suñu ne yokk a paas government dafay man damay represent driver du ma nekk si meeting bi di wax on behalf of the consumers. I will never do that in that discussion. Damay represent my people. moo tax government include all the stakeholders ku ci am la oola soo mën da wax sa secteur nag das na si yow but man danaa make sure ne la mooy suma I'll do it. In that discussion, that's why government, during the conversation, suma percentage bi is very different during d'accord as a committee. But I feel ne Gambia dañ sona I'm feeling but du ma nangu tamit nag suma njaboot di liggéey end of the day they cannot have a operational cost.
Why Omar?
Because try the fuel
su wàccee for example tey suñ fi toogoon laa laajte fuel wàcca ndax pass bi yéen tamit di ngeen advocate pour mu wàcca damaa laajte rek parce que fuel Adama Barrow Adama Barrow amewut fuel
Ceesay mu ne
minister of petroleum
yokku na wàññeeku na ñoom lañu
waaw waaye man li maa laajte mooy xam nga nit ñi dañu war a réalistique si suñu waxin sometimes ñu naan Adama Barrow li Adama Barrow amewut fuel nekkut si loxoom loolu global dynamics la
am na ci doole
am na si loxo waaye li maa wax
soo ma si laajee ma leeral la ko
déedéet bañu ma ne waaye niñ ko dee waxee téyewut ko di amee global price bi di wax ne fii lii la ñoo jaayee foofu laay waxee
moo tax sa force nga ne su fuel wàññeeku mbaat na wàññi paas
dina da ngeen advocate pour paas wàcc
man sign naa su fuel wàccee for 20% dinaa wàññi paas before that in 2017 bu government ñëw in ace gasoil bi ñu jëlee ko $52 yi indi ko $42 man bokk na ñu advocate bi paas yi wàññi ko fi ku nekk saaga ma si Ministry of Transport on this I take the forefront gis na ne consumer dañ si war a benefit kon su tamo sign ma agreement su ma signé su fuel wàcce for that 20% man maa taxaw fi di ko
Omar lii doo ko dee advocate foo ko war a àggal
moo tax ma ne 2017 bokk na ñu ko advocate ba fuel wàññi ba passé ko 2017 ñëpp fekk na ko fi ñu fi laaja Ministry of Transport go to record
waaye time Covid bi essence wàccu fi woon benn wàcc
tànk ba essence wàcc ok foofu laa bëgg a ñëwee
te pass bi wàññewuñ
dégg nga waaye ma wala may waa because government of the Gambia dafa reduce the percentage of the vehicle capacity for 50%. That time and that time in the world market gas yooyu demoon na fuel demoon na ba almost lu ndaw la ko day jëndee because am na storage problem but government of Gambia maintain na the price ñu soja interval dafa bari some governments ñoo xam ne in that period dañ jël dat xaalis boobu put ko in special account tey xaalis boobu la nekk di subsidies moo tax seen pompe price yokkut let me call one of them Sénégal fii pompe price tey diesel $57 la de tax na ta Gambia trokas yëpp kenn jëndu fi gasoil si biir réew over 3 to 4 months now Sénégal la nga koy jëndee you cannot compare $75 and $57 in that period government xaalis bu ñu seef ana xaalis bi nañ ko because tey ñu ngi wax ne pompe price bi dafa different correct price bi real price bi kon in that period tamit 3 years boobu ana xaalis bu ñu dencoon ana mu ko fe noo war a jëne wax nit ñi lan moo xew ba taxaw ne subsidy na $20 man gaw ma ko I don't believe it until ñu ni breakdown ñoo exactly ma woon lii mooy dëgg
waaw Uncle Sidi wax na fi nu mel noonu ne they have to be more transparent about negotiations ak yooyu noonu about issues as such waaye man li ma gën a doole di wax rek mooy Omar nañ dee balance because yow yaay njiit bi yow dooy balance sa gars yi doo koy def man ban headline fii nga musa toog nga gis
non bëgg nañu
déedéet nañ waxante dëgg rek
pour mu ne
Omar di wax ne driver yi lii ak lii ak lii
driver yi
driver yaa ngi def lu leen ne
bi baaxut bàyyi leen loolu bëgg nañ ko Mr Ceesay
dama ne soo bëggee doog pass yi wàññeeku indi loo xam ne end of day dinañ ci mën a am dara
gis nga
dama wax pour dëkk di
jeex na
maa wax record
yokka pass bi daal maa ngi ko
at the end of the day ñu ngi koo dog
from Brikama I'm from Brikama yaa doy wax ne Brikama I'm from Brikama to yow take me 2 hours ne su ma moto taw ma fen 2 hours in traffic su ma moto bàyyi do you know how much for your consume 2 hours from Brikama to Q TV. So if that's the case, these people are doing business and of they expect profit. No, I told you the diesel play 3% in our operational cost.
Léegi ba pare Omar fooguloo ne tam dañu war a am xëy na tarif bu tegu when it comes to town trips xëy na ñu ne diggante fii ak fii nit su waree jël like a taxi lii la diggante fii how about that?
Town trip.
Wow.
No, town trip I think as far as my understanding is concerned.
Wow.
Across the world, amul price.
Kañ.
That's not
ñu use Uber. For example, dafa depends on shortcut boo jël it appears ne lii diggante fii ak fii lii la.
xam nga lu ma gis some country ñu nekk def mooy dafa am riida.
mooy Uber bi.
waaw riida ba Gambia fii soo fi nee riida est-ce que di nga mën a.
déedéet du riida bi déedéet kañ. riida bi is fair enough in those countries. It's cheap even. dégg nga well according to the people who live there. loolu la ñoo wax
soo xamee ba people like you and me su demee dégg suñu waralee ñaari yoon. soo fay ko da laa waral ñaari yoon ci joso bi rek ñu la
non it doesn't work like that man use naa Uber in different countries and melut noonu sometimes driver yaa dee ci di la yóbbu ay xëj na soo xamutee place bi waaw waaye if you know the place it's this is système baa ko wane nga fay
les seetas ñoo seen transport system ak seen country bi
du benn moom waaye I'm just suggesting ne
moo tax ma ne la government ñoo war a full la transport in a sense xam nga what most important transport dafa connect life ñëpp su sàggane ñëppay sàggane
absolutely
lu right now moom la xew government dafa nekk di build infrastructure di build ay yoon am na solo but operational aspect dafa des I told the minister last time in discussion bu ñëwee di new minister dem na too ànd ak journalist yi xool yoon bi am na solo but still am nañ télé ba dara ci ñu si transport bi government of Gambia particularly borough government bu ñu ñaata la defal bari na ba léegi lan la in operational aspect lan la ci kon si 0.0 amul benn njëriñ
Omar yëfit maa ngi wax affaire town trip bi nga bëgg koo tegee boor parce que nga du favor sa driver
as far as I'm concerned
parce que sa driver yi favor wut leen pour tey ñu ne price bi diggante fii ak fii
lii la système boo xamante ne man lu ma déggoo town trip
système da ngeen a am tarif rek ne diggante fii ak fii lii la waaye bëgguloo seewa parce que sa du favor sa gars yi parce que ku nekk dafa caaj li ko nekk di def li ko nekk si koo tali
disclose the price dinaa fa nekk su ma calculation ma jël baax na ma
waaw waaye encourage ko waaye xam nga ne favor wut la
moo tax always let's bring system
loolu foofu lay waxee man it
moo tax man nañ bring système bi dañoo bring all stakeholders on board ñu discuss ku ne xool sa part la moo ci nekk
waaye Omar day balance yow daal sa nit ñi daal
driver
li leen neex yow si loolu rek ngay dox
dimbaleel askan bi xam naa
waaye gis nga Omar wax nañu ne mu ne moom su demee meeting du represent comme passenger moom driver yi la
moom muy taajul gaay nii parce que ñoo ko votal soo politique bi ba si transport union tey Afrique
doo sin feeya ñu bir nga as a representative of the journalist ma ñëw di wax si sa tur
man waxuma nga ñëw di wax si ma waaye nañ balansal driver yi dañ fi nekk pour ñëpp la
moo tax di proposal bu ñu present the government moo tax ñu nangul ko wàññi ba over last point moo tax ñu d'accord ak government since 2021 pour ñu increase to 20% ñu nangu dem ba 40%.
so loolu ñaata la moo nekk kon paas dafa nekk
xam nga ne tey
for example yoo xam ne su waree am paas bi ñaata la moo nekk.
oui da nga ko catégorise.
man foog naa ne daal.
da nga ko catégorise
gis nga transport union bi.
fii daal
ak government
na ku nekk ut raydaam ni ko
transport union bi ak government réew mi dañu war a they have to go back to the drawing board. ñu toog ñu waxtaan because transport tey it's the most important in this country. soo gisee tey ñu ngi ñëw toog fii di waxtaan. transport la soo jógee sa kër si suba transport nga day njëkk a ut pour nga dem liggéey.
xam nga moo laaj si dëgg bi su bëggee transport move the first and foremost let's review the Motor Traffic Act and the Insurance Act. Let's try to have transport regulation. Only law can govern people and let's try to have a Department of Transportation. Department of Transportation.
waaw
soo fee lii am na. dina mën a indi regulation.
xanaa Ministry of Transport amuñ.
am na directive ba am na amuñ department am talking about the department.
amuñ department.
non department amul directive am that is all created by 2021.
man daal gis nga Jenaba it's important sometimes structure yuñ am nii without any implementation. It's also
because loolu moo fa nekk because soo seetee suñu ak like particularly motor traffic act bu nga xam ne 1948 fekk mën naa jël ak yow juddooguñ so loi yoo tey mun na exist you are talking about the UNEP transport the population is growing still we don't have regulation in place xam nga dañoo sonalante rek but only local government people nañ bring people together big a consultation bring proper laws xam ne end of ñu moo ñu guide man to be a president of the union is a just period of time suma family bi man rek maa fa nekk driver the rest are other players coono bu ñoo daj la ñoo daj suma doom every day lu ñu waaj a school coono bu ñu daj xam naa ko so ñaata ni moom na afford lii so moo tax ma I feel the government is the one more about government more federal transport ñi nga wax na nga ko wax de ñun du fi nekk di government federal transport loolu mooy dëgg government Gambia
government bi kon war nañoo faane transport
transport yu nekk nii suñu independent dina leen change loolu du wax ji ñun bëgguñu waaye wax day bëgg ni ngay ni proper ñoom bring journalists yi bring everybody nan def assessment tey let me tell you the Ministry of Transport as the key stakeholder of the transportation nekk the pricing committee of the fuel de peu ñu dee certifié bokku ci yow dama bay cax nga dégg bi du def
mbaa dugal ngeen ko ci
man bokku ci
moom loolu liggéeyam
man bokku ci man
ndax dañ ko war a dugal foofu
pour
mu bokk
as a major consumer ñun sax dañ si war a bokk pour ñu ma exactly
loolu moo tax
government fu mu transparency tey government mi ñuy wax nit ñi ne d'accord nañ OMC ba nañ wax ni lañ si lan lañ d'accord people analyse man xam naa ne lu ñu d'accord mooy ne hold on gis nañ seen proposal bi ba nañ bàyyi ba end of month ñu solve ko naka la nga koy solve government mooy jël subsidies or dañoo yokk pump price because government wax na very clear in the platform ne government cannot continue to take more subsidies wax nañ ko leer na ñii lu ñu wax mooy seen margin yooyu il faut government delloo ko like importers premium from 1,000 $100 per metric ton to 80 government loolu def ñooñu leen ko delloo and those percentages soo fekkee government mënut a delloo loolu kon lu muy def mooy dafay jël subsidies o mu yokk pump price ñun government wax na ne ñoom mënuñ yokk pump price ñu ne mënuñ continuer lii ñu ne pass yu gasoil boobu mënuñ ko yokk jamono bi malaa yow jërëjëf d'accord na ci côté boobu kon lan moo war a xew end of the month so man a little bit fair end of month lan moo xew
waaw so comme na ko waxee ñu dellu si drawing board bi
ñu dem ñu toog ñu waxtaan foog ñu waxtaan rek
I will say this the pricing committee not ñun mun nañu I feel you supposed to be part of it because xam na suñu neighborhood country suñu union partner dem price committee bi xam na lan moo xew xam nga fii ñaata lay jar so dañu mën a wax ne exactly mooy dëgg
but I'm surprised you are not part of it
Ministry of Transport is not part of it nga man ne man booguma ci man balaa man Ministry of Transport
I'm surprised
anyway
I'm surprised
fi mu nekk nii daal waaye daal man li maa gën a wax rek mooy union bi wax leen union ak union nu mu munti doon sa nit ñi nga fa taxawal waaye sa nit ñi tamit su ñoo defee naka sudut noonu wax leen dëgga
jëlab yam askan bi nag
déedéet man dëgga bi laay wax leen dëgga
comme like
saa yu nekk Omar newspaper headline picture
Mr Cissé moom every time soo defee nii da nga Omar Cissé
du musa toog musuloo fee oote press conference pour waxal driver yi musuloo fee oote press conference pour adresse driver yi
bul fàtte ne
parce que ñoo la fuuta
man driver yi ñoo ñëw si office loolu seen complaint si man ma assess comment parce que soo fekkee ama complaint si nit ñi naka laa ko mën a assessé consumer seen complaint si
saa yoo fi ñëwee ñu complainal la
consumer seen complaint bi dañ ko dee looy ci consumers union ñoo war a génne wax ñi lan mooy xew ban das is no I don't know lu ma xam ne mun maa toog te di ko wax moo demee wax fen
viewers YouTube
nañoo suma office loolu seen complaint
Facebook comments below
no problem
tell us what you feel about transportation in Gambia and the behavior of drivers in the country. Boo paree nga dugga di nga ko fa gis.
No, I'm not commenting on this. Commenting is this is my style.
Why? It's a way of assessing.
My issue is if you have a genuine concern in terms of transport, bring your complaint at the union office or any regional office. Dinaa ko jot ñu make sure.
Waa léegi seen PRO bi lanay nombaam. lanay nomba because da ngeen war a am nit boo xam ne nombaam bi da ngeen koo teg si biti QCell nombaam waaw kooku QCell nombaam da ngeen ko war a display si biti pour nit ñi if there is any complaint number bi ngeen di call pour yéen ngeen solve ko internally
am na official number si
comme noo ko waxee nañ wax dëgg bi te dee
am na official number si soo bëggee mën naa ko joxe
dafa war a am
waaw dinaa ko joxe
waaw su ko defee nag mu nekk bii boor si bii boor tamit bu balance
jàmm am
kese
d'accord nañ
loolu rek la ñoo woon
waaw Mr Cissé daal mu ne moom yokka na yokkuñ dafa yokk
waaw lan mooy QCell number bi
non crama nga am na gurin
waaye nag dinañ ko fi waxati next show ñu next ëllëg su ko defee ñu waxati number bi dëkk bi nit ñi réguler yéen tamit lii dafa naxari waaye si xol yéen tamit waaye
te du wax naa la ma ne la ne man dama am tired
so fekkee you are represent the journalist let me take example
man
let me by my wala.
Waxal.
So represent you as a journalist.
Waaw.
Nga am agreement with the three stakeholders.
Waaw.
And the other stakeholders.
Waaw.
Ngeen sign ne so pump price change for 20%.
Waaw.
Mu change to 40% la war a def.
waaw
Asale looy def.
gis nga man Omar.
Déedéet lu ma looy def.
déedéet man Omar
yow
damay
xam nga
doxee
soppi
déedéet
doxin de.
man Omar.
Foog nga soppi
suma kër
doxin.
nga ñëw doo ma laajte. li ma wax mooy
waaw laaj ma waaw.
man Omar yow ñun journaliste lañ sometimes dañ day advocate sax pour journaliste yi ñu ethical
Évidemment luy ndaa.
dañ koo def.
Évidemment
da nga
ko
koo
def.
wax si bii boor nga wax ko si boor bi ah soo sa téléphone bi ñu jotale la ko nag.
Acca no problème.
ah
Jox ma jox la ko. ma jox la ko. Man sax su ma nomee chef everywhere.
non monsieur Cissé moom.
su ma nomee chef everywhere.
waaw.
ku ma ci call dinaa lu ma la wax dama la dégg ba man ma fee mooy dégg laa wax. Man mënu maa laa yee lu ma bokkul bokkuma.
waaw
lu ma
soo
doon
ñu jotali la sa mobile bi wala bi suñ amee time nga joxe.
soo bëggee mën naa la jox suma
non
number yi.
daf ñu ko jox off.
dinañu ko
non
jox
mën naa la jox suma number.
jox ñu ko off air. jox ñu
déedéet moom du mambaam moom xam nga moom dafa am level bu ñu war a toppa pour balaa ñoo àgga si moom du ñu wax ak moom
soo bëggee mën naa la jox PRO bi.
waaw
mën naa la jox suma number mën naa la jox edi video.
waaw su ko defee ku am complaint
No, why, at the end of the time-
each region am na fa regional officer.
At the end of the time,
Waaw.
president by decide.
exactly waaye dañ war a xam
President
ñun
by
tamit lan
make
la
his
ñoo
own
joy
decision.
dañ ko war a xam su yàggee ñëpp ut rayda ni Omar Ba kii
Man
Ibrahima
moom-
Baldé
man
rayda
moom-
la am di wër si
man
dëkk bi
moom léegi 10 minutes maa ngi suma kër.
jeex
Ba bu careful with the vehicles.
non
yeah
bul
ndax
wax
tamit ngay bëgg di sol helmet
Waaw because gis naa accident rate bari na
yeah
ci trop.
the accident rate of
Rayda
ride
bari
but
na
anyway
trop.
Omar
No,
thank you
why?
so much
That's important.
Yeah.
Nañ war a try ñu regulate transport system bi. ñu seetaat transport union xam
ñu
nañ ne
create the Department of Transport.
am ngeen solo fii.
waaw
ok
bu ko defee
Op nañu am
ñu
solo.
work together.
Waaw.
like press union rek.
waaw so
ñun
ñi
ñëpp
ñooy
ñu work
press
together
union
ba pare
transport.
président bi su waxee si bii boor mu wax si boor bële
Definitely,
Wow.
absolutely.
So,
Jenaba yaa ngi
Ibrahima,
insist
let's
loolu
just remind, thank you so much, Omar, for joining us. It's always good to have you here.
Thank you.
Always open to us, to the media, to have conversations with us. But Ibrahima, before we leave, just to remind the viewers that they can sponsor this program, you know, head right onto QTV, negotiate with our marketing team. It's not expensive, you know, it's this morning. It airs at this time,
Wow.
repeats 12
anything
a.m.
that you put on this platform
Yeah.
will sell.
Facebook, YouTube, ñun kuñ waxal nga dem comme ni ma ko dee waxee man su ma waxee Ibrahima Baldé wax ah Skeng Man Sweezy wax
Definitely.
Bis
Ba pare
na si jaamu
Jenaba,
du dem.
dañu war a thank Mr. Cissé.
Waaw.
because moom he is always open.
Always
démba lañ ko ko rek ñu ne
Waaw,
ko ne
mu
bugga
ñëw
nañ
tey.
la tey mu ne maa ngi ñëw.
kese
melut ni officiel ci nga xam ne da ngaa daw seen gannaaw ba sonn.
amuñu yoon moo tax.
Waaw.
ñu kan nañ ko war a tëddee.
waaw
waaw
so
wante dee te
ñu
ngeen
ngi
nangu
la-
tamit ne boor bi ak boor bële waaw so but anyway thank you so much gentlemen so
Jërëjëf.
viewers till we come your way tomorrow with another exciting episode bye for now